We undertook some market research with TNS, a company, international company based in their Hong Kong office, looked at Hong Kong, the history of giving, combined with the fact when we were here for those 14 years, 1959 to 1973, helping people in Hong Kong when Hong Kong was a very different place. We thought it was just a natural that we can relaunch here in Hong Kong, this time being what we call a donor country or a fundraising operation where we ask Hong Kong people, individual as well as corporates and SMEs, to contribute to our programs around the world to help children, their families and communities. Part of the launch is how do we get the Plan brand known in Hong Kong. As you know, it's a very complicated, complex and competitive market, and there are a number of well-known charities doing very good work. How can we inform the people of Hong Kong, individuals, corporates and other people, government officials, about the Plan and our work in Hong Kong, and so that they can get to know us and to know the good work that we're doing and then contribute. And this is through our launch, which is we call Where Are You Now? Which basically is looking for people that were actually associated with the program in the 1960s, whether they were beneficiaries or even former staff, asking them through various media. It may be this interview, it may be through newspapers or on the web. You know, this is Plan, we're coming back. This was our old logo when we used to be known as Foster Parents Plan. Please get in touch with us and let us know where you are. And then we can see if we can tell some stories about how Plan may have helped you 50 years ago and where you are today. And then we'll use that as a means to introduce Plan to Hong Kong, and then particularly to individuals and businesses that we would like to partner with. Our organizations are well-intentioned and concerned about the mission. Here, though, we must realize it is a business in regards, it's a not-for-profit business, so we have to have management systems that account for the resources that people donate to us, because that's what we live on. We live on people's donations as well as corporate donations, and we have to have, you know, state-of-the-art management systems that we can report on how money is used, how we can be efficient and as effective as possible so that we maximize the amount of the donations, whether they come from individuals or from companies, to projects and programs for kids. Actually, something that we have been pioneering in Plan, especially in the mainland for the past, I would say the past 4 years when I was in mainland, is something we call public-private partnerships, PPP. This is where we work together, international NGO, Plan International, for example, a corporate. We have examples in mainland where we work partnership with Microsoft, Nokia, AMC Target, Sony, Akzo Nobel, and there's quite other corporates that we work with, and together with the local government, and especially, and this is the most important component, working with the communities, so that you get these groups of individuals, corporates, and Plan International working together, demonstrating and implementing projects for children in their communities, and show how the importance of participation, how local communities, when they're involved in the projects, whether it be installing a new water system, whether it be installing new improved latrines, or implementing a microcredit program for rural women so they actually have access to credit, it's much better in terms of its effectiveness and how it works when local people are involved in decision making. One of the things that we do in Plan, and I've been involved with in all our corporate partnerships, we do undertake due diligence, where we look at what is the potential corporate donor actually doing? Do they have any policies with regard to child protection? Plan International, as a worldwide child development agency, what we're all on about is advocating for children and protecting children. We look at companies and is their business something that's not harmful? For example, if they sell alcohol or they sell armaments, well, thank you very much, but we prefer not to work with you. Those organizations, for example, Microsoft, Nokia, for example, where there's an alignment of the purpose and the vision, that's something where we look at that first, and then how we discuss and agree on terms of how the program will be implemented, as well as, in the case of Nokia in mainland China, an entire project management team with members from Nokia, members from Plan China was established and discussed all these steps, how the project could be implemented, how publicity will be made, and how the logos, for example, from Nokia Plan and the project logo will be used.
Okay.
Many of the big players like HSBC or StanChart, they have well-established and mature CSR programs. But as we know, here in Hong Kong, the Hang Seng, 95% of the Hang Seng is comprised of small and medium enterprises, SMEs. Many of these SMEs, the owners, whether they have 20, 30, 60, 100 employees, they know that CSR is potentially important for them, but they really don't know how to go about it.
Okay.
Plan Hong Kong, we have already established working with organizations and companies, whether they be big ones like Nokia or small ones, and we have what we call an SME toolkit, where we can provide advice to the small and medium enterprise owner about CSR, about how to work with local communities and charities, and whether they donate the plan or not is not the major issue. We would like them to become involved in the CSR effort because it's akin to the rising tide lifts all boats. And if more and more businesses become good corporate citizens and they donate to charities of their choice that are bona fide charities that are doing good work and documented good work, that'll help more children. One of the reasons why we decided to come back to Hong Kong and relaunch Plan is based on research that we have done over 3 years. Coming back at this point of time, even though it's financially or economically challenging period, we have a deep and abiding faith in the people of Hong Kong, and this is what we believe, hopefully, as one listens to other economic pundits, we'll be coming out of this by end of this year or certainly by 2010. People of Hong Kong, whether it be with the Sichuan earthquake last May or the tsunami in 2005, have proven to be very generous, and that generosity continues to this day, although people and well as companies are becoming much more selective in the charities they donate to. And this is where issues of accountability and trustworthiness and transparency, areas where Plan International for the past 73 years has excelled, we believe are important factors that will allow people to have confidence to donate to us. There actually are a number of levels. One level is what are the values and principles of the organization, whether it be the companies such as Cathay Pacific, as you mentioned, which has a significant and mature CSR program, yet they don't go and put it in your face every day. One of the things I believe that they're very concerned about is that they're concerned that they're doing good and that their employees know that they're doing good. Actually, Plan Hong Kong, we're very fortunate that one of our board directors is a senior director of Cathay Pacific. His name is Kerry McGlynn. And so these are the kind of people that we have brought into the board of Plan Hong Kong to help us and advise us on how best to work in Hong Kong, what works in Hong Kong, because it is a unique place. It's a very interesting and competitive dynamic, and we need to do well here. If it's for marketing and advertising only, then they may be disappointed because people will very quickly twig out that that is the reason they're doing it. If there's a genuine interest from the very values and principles of the organization to help people, for example, Plan Hong Kong and our Plan International work around the world helping children, then that's the fundamental bedrock and the values that align the corporate donor or SME donor with Plan International. What we can do is advise the corporates or the businesses what is the reality in the villages and working with rural people and working with small not-for-profits or domestic community associations, which is a very different world than corporate. And the language is different, the time frame, decision making is different, and so there needs to be a meeting of the minds and management of expectations.